Hi, I am a literal Babe Ruth to the legal system. And I wanted to explain everything I have in common with this man because it's truly mind-blowing and it's really cool. And I never found out about everything I have in common with him until I was in my 20s as an adult. But it's really cool. And well, it starts with my name and his name. He is George Herman Ruth Jr., George Ruth, but he's famously known as Babe Ruth, even though his real name is George Ruth. I have an exact same situation where I am Paul Nicholas Garbin Jr. That's my full name. Paul Nicholas Garbin Jr. Paul Garbin Jr. Paul Garbin. That is what the legal system and the medical system know me as. It's Paul. Hi, I'm Paul. In reality, what makes it funny is Paul Garbin is my dad, and I love him dearly, but no one knows me as Paul Garbin. That's the joke. I am Nick Garbin. That is my real name. And it's crazy how Nick Garbin directly correlates to Babe Ruth. It's so cool. And well, from our names, that's what makes me a literal Babe Ruth to the system. Because to the system, he is George Ruth, famously known as Babe Ruth. And to the system, I am Paul Garbin, but I'm famously known as Nick Garbin. That's where it starts. But then there's our nicknames. So his nicknames were the Great Bambino and the Sultan of SWAT, Babe Ruth. And I am your brother from another mother, nickpaulygee, aka NPG, up on your screen, the scene, or anywhere in between. And the fact that we both have nicknames that we're known by is another thing we have in common. And well, next, there's our size. We are both 6'2", and he weighed 215 pounds. That's what sources say. I feel like later in his career, he might have weighed more than that, but that's what the internet says. He weighed 215. And right now, I weigh 330 pounds. I am way out of shape. I haven't exercised much since I was a baseball player back in 8th and 9th grade, which I'll get to in just a moment. But I am way overweight. I'm a heavy-set guy that could stand to lose a solid 60 pounds, and I would look like a different human being. But my point is, I am a heavier set guy than Babe Ruth was. I am bigger than he was. Because even whenever I used to play baseball, back in 8th and 9th grade, I was like 5'10"-ish, and I weighed like 230 pounds in 8th grade. I weighed more than Babe Ruth did back whenever I was in middle school and high school. And it's interesting to put in perspective. So we have so much in common, me and Babe Ruth. And next, there's our baseball legacies. I'm going to start with Babe Ruth's legacy, and then I'll talk about mine. So, Babe Ruth is one of the greatest baseball players of all time. He has 7 World Series championships, 3 with the Red Sox, and 4 with the New York Yankees. And he has over 700 home runs. At one point, he was the MLB leader for home runs. And he was also a notable pitcher and played different positions on the field. He was a very talented player. And well, what he's famously known for is this effect called the Curse of the Bambino, where Babe Ruth played for the Red Sox and won 3 championships. And then the Red Sox traded Babe Ruth to the New York Yankees. And Babe Ruth kept playing well with the Yankees. And the Red Sox couldn't compete the same without Babe Ruth. They went in a drought of not winning a World Series championship for almost a full century, as they finally won a World Series championship in 2004 at the beginning of the 21st century, and they finally reversed the curse of the Bambino in 2004. And that's what this whole poster represents. And my grandpa gave me this poster when I was 7 years old back in 2004 when the Red Sox won the World Series. And what's really cool is Babe Ruth has 7 World Series championships. The Red Sox won the World Series in 2004 when I was 7 years old, and I was born in 1997. 3 lucky 7s make my jersey number 21. And well, I love this jersey number, and I love how much I have in common with Babe Ruth. And the reason why I love representing number 21 is because there was a young man named Kane Finley who was diagnosed with DIPG, the most lethal brain tumor known to mankind. And he was an LSU Tiger studying to get a degree while fighting DIPG. And he would go to the football games, and he was representing number 21. And I love that I have this connection with Kane Finley. And I look forward to meeting him one day in the heavens. But I know he'd be so proud of me for everything I'm trying to do here as a content creator that's representing DIPG. And well, next, there brings my baseball legacy and how I correlate to Babe Ruth. Obviously, I'm no Babe Ruth, which is part of what makes it funny to me, the fact that I directly correlate to him and how to the legal system I am a Babe Ruth. It's really cool. But I'm no Babe Ruth. Now, I am Nick Garvin, and I wanted to tell you guys about my baseball legacy because it's interesting. So, I played a ton of baseball growing up. I played in Little League, I played in travel ball, tournament ball, and I played in baseball camps growing up my whole life. And when I was 10 years old, my dad coached the Red Sox when I was in Little League. And my Red Sox squad won the Little League. And then from there, my dad coached the All-Star team, and my 10-year-old All-Star team became Mississippi State champions. We were a really good group of players. And then we went to regionals, and we got second. We almost won regionals at 10 years old. And I played all sorts of baseball, and it was my dream to play for the Ocean Springs Greyhounds, my school team. And well, in 7th grade, I tried out for the middle school team, the 7th and 8th grade team. And in 7th grade, I did not make the team. Similar to how Michael Jordan did not make his high school varsity team one year. So there's a world in the Matrix where Nick Garvin never played baseball for the Ocean Springs Greyhounds. I quit after 7th grade. But that's not the story of my life. As when I didn't make the team, I was devastated by this. But I hustled tournament ball, and I kept playing baseball because I loved it. And when 8th grade came around, we had a new coach. And I tried out for the 8th grade team, and I made the team. And I was elated. I loved being able to say that I was on my school team. And growing up, I was a talented player. I was a good hitter in the batter's box, and I played a couple of positions on the field. But my favorite position was pitching. I was a really good pitcher. And when I made the 8th grade team, all I did was pitch. I threw the most bullpens. I threw the most batting practice. I pitched the most on the team. And I was our pitcher-only ace pitcher. And for this 8th grade season, we went undefeated. we did not drop a single game, and we were district champions. And during the season, the coaches pulled me to the side at one point, and they told me with enlightened news that I was, in fact, the greatest pitcher in the state of Mississippi. And I was never given a stat sheet or any sort of recognition for this. And I don't know if sport departments give out recognition for instances like this. I don't know, because I don't know or care if I was really the greatest pitcher in the state or not. I just knew that I was a really talented pitcher, and I was a pivotal part of our team's success, and everybody knew it. I was really good. And for this 8th grade season, I wish I could find my district championship award sheets, but I have an award sheet from this 8th grade season. And on this award sheet, it says her instead of his. They made a typo and they referred to me as a her. And I think that it is so golden. It is hilarious. It is the ultimate Joker card that my school district could have given me. It is so awesome, because now I have a situation on my hands where my life is a literal Sandlot script, where I am the literal Babe Ruth of our squad, and I play ball like a girl. And it is so classic. It is awesome. I love this. And well, 8th grade was the greatest that I ever was, because I was in the best shape of my life in 8th grade. In 8th grade, I was throwing my fastball up to 80 miles per hour at 14 years old. I was a really good pitcher. I was never in tip-top physical shape. I was always more of a husky kind of guy, and I hated running sprints. Sprints were my ultimate weakness. I hated them. And it makes me wonder, if I got my body in tip-top physical shape, what I would look like, and if I could perhaps become a baseball player. Because I believe anything is possible when you put your mind to it. And for me, conditioning was something that I hated, because I never looked at it as me improving myself. I looked at it as torture in a way. I hated conditioning. And it's a big reason why I ultimately quit playing baseball. But 8th grade was the best that I ever was. And then 9th grade came around. And 9th grade was an interesting year for me, because 9th grade, back in 2012, was the year that I became known as nickpaulygee. And I started making YouTube videos, Call of Duty videos. And I would say, "What's going on, internet? It's your brother from another mother, nickpaulygee here." And I would make these videos, and I would go to school. And some of my fellow peers, my classmates, and my fellow athletes, they would casually make fun of me for being your brother from another mother, nickpaulygee. And I rolled with the punches at first, and I embraced the joke. But then over time, it really started to bother me that people were making fun of me for what I was passionate about, making these videos. So I deleted them all. And it's a part of the story of my life, and I regret that. And well, 9th grade was my last season playing baseball. And at this point, I was enjoying making YouTube videos, and I was enjoying bowling and other outlets over baseball. And I ultimately quit after my 9th grade season. But my 9th grade season, I was still our ace pitcher. And I wasn't in as good of shape, but I was still a very talented pitcher. And I helped us win this district championship. And after 9th grade, I quit. And it's interesting to put in perspective my story here, because I am the story of a guy that didn't make the team in 7th grade. And then I made the team in 8th grade and became our notable ace pitcher that helped us win 2 championships back to back in 8th and 9th grade. And then I quit. And I have a story that is directly parallel to the curse of the Bambino. I call it the curse of nickpaulygee, as when I quit playing for the Greyhounds, it was the exact same effect as when Babe Ruth got traded off the Red Sox to the Yankees. Because my brothers in arms, my old teammates, they were still a very talented group of players. But without me, they were no longer the same championship winning squad. And it's obvious. And well, from there, I have an effect that I like to call the Joker and the Thief in the Night effect. And the Joker is me joking about this whole situation. And to me, it never gets old to joke about. It is a fresh joke every time. Part of what makes me the Joker is the fact that I was our ace card, our ace pitcher. But if the ace card never existed, it's interesting to perceive. It would be like playing a game of blackjack, 21, and you have an ace and a king. You win. But what if that ace disappeared and never existed? Well, suddenly, you lose. And me being the Joker card is the direct metaphor for me being the ace pitcher. And the joke is, what if Nick Garbin never played baseball for the Ocean Springs Greyhounds? No Nick Garbin. Well, those 2 district championship trophies that we earned together, they would vanish into thin air without me. Like a thief in the night came in and stole them. And it's obvious. And I don't mean to come off like I'm being conceited or full of myself. It's the fact of the matter. And it's a hypothetical, of course. But I was a huge part of that championship winning team. And you could say this same effect with any championship player in any sport to some degree, because there's no I in team. However, there is an I in win, and in victory, and in champion, and in family, and in unit. I was a part of the unit of that championship winning squad. And well, it's interesting how I am a literal Babe Ruth. It's really cool. Just casually a cool story. Like, cool story, bro. Yeah, it is. And well, I am on a quest to join 100 Thieves, a professional gaming organization for North America based out of California. And I am the ultimate thief in the night. And I'm going to join 100 Thieves in order for us to create this epic charity gaming festival called Smash for DIPG. And I don't know how I'm going to do this. And I don't know how I'm supposed to join 100 Thieves and make this a reality, but I'm determined to make it happen. As well, I'm about to turn 28 years old. 28 years young. And I got so much life ahead of me. And I wanted to tell you guys about how I am a literal Babe Ruth, because it's really cool. And well, I wanted to show you guys what I look like right now, because I have so much potential for my life, and I know this. And it makes me wonder, if I started exercising and getting in shape, how I would look, and eventually if I could do all sorts of different things with my life. But you know something I would do right now? I would hop in the batter's box against anyone. Any professional pitcher, or a college pitcher, or a high school pitcher. I would love to just hop in the batter's box for the adrenaline rush of it. And there's someone that I have in mind right now. Garrett Crochet. Garrett was a year younger than me, and he was one of my buddies on the team. And when we would be doing conditioning, we would both be in the back of the pack. And Garrett was like yay high on me when we played baseball together. And then I quit, and Garrett hit a growth spurt, and he's now in the pros. And he plays for the Red Sox. Isn't that awesome? Imagine Nick Garbin hopping in the batter's box against Garrett Crochet. I could see it happening. Even right now, with my happy-go-lucky overweight self, I would hop in that batter's box and I would try my best to just make contact with the ball. And if I even made contact with the ball, I would be so over the moon about it. I'd be like, wow, I just made contact against a professional pitcher. It would be awesome. It would be great content. And it's awesome. Garrett has been over here before to my family's property. And it's really cool. And I could see me hopping in that batter's box against Garrett Crochet. And what if I hit a dinger on him out of the park? Wouldn't that be awesome? Who knows? But this is what I look like, guys. I hope you enjoyed this piece of content. And, well, I'll be seeing you guys later. Much love, Internet. Peace. This gaming jersey used to fit comfortably on me, and now it's tight on me. And I know I could stand to lose a healthy 40 pounds, and I would look like a completely different human being. And my goal is to make it to where this jersey fits comfortably on me again. Because right now, it's tight on me. And if I stretch, it comes up on me. And I know I could stand to lose a lot of weight. And well, starting tomorrow, Monday, it's going to be another work week for me. And I'm going to start drinking a ton more water. And I want to start waking up and exercising a little bit. And I want to comfortably get my body in shape. And I don't know what workouts I should be doing. And I don't know what I should be eating. But I know I need to eat healthier. I need to go to the grocery store and get a whole lot of different fruit and vegetables and just be more conscious about what I'm putting in my body. And I could see myself losing a solid amount of weight and looking back on this video and remembering where I was. So I appreciate you guys tuning in to me being a literal Babe Ruth, and I look forward to what the future holds. So show me some love. Much love, Internet. Peace.